Good morning, card making friends. I'm Stampin' Dee Dee, and I love making cards. And I've got this new series started, Stash the Card. And I have been convicted that I have accumulated so much, I don't want to call it stuff, so much of a stash. I've got ribbon, I've got designer series paper, I've got stamps and embossing folders that I need to use. I need to use those. And I am still a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and will help you any way I can, but I'm going to use my stash. And I know you have a stash too. I know you do. We all do. We have a stash of things. Now, I know some of my fellow demonstrators get rid of their old products, but I can't see doing that. It's beautiful paper, and paper that I loved when it was, before it was retired. But as a demonstrator, we're to use new products because the whole point is to sell the new products, right? You can't sell the retired products. But I am just here to say that I want to use my stash, and I want to encourage you to use your stash as well. So, you know, I just realized that my computer is not, I took it into the den a couple of days ago, and I didn't plug it back in. So I needed to get it plugged back in. All right. This is the pattern that we're going to use today. And as you can see, it's strips of paper and squares of paper. I've called it strips and squares. But I love this. It enables you to use your designer series paper and your images. I love that, and I love the layout. So I hope you will enjoy this too. And yeah, so if you're watching, let me know. Let me know you're on. Now, I put a list out there of the products that you need to make this card. So you need basic white, just your regular card base. You need to cut 2 designer series papers at 1 by 5 1/4. It really is easy. The supplies are easy to gather. You need a coordinating cardstock. It coordinates with your DSP, 4 by 5 1/4. And then you need 3 little squares of basic white or very vanilla at 1 1/2 inch square. 3 little squares, and then 3 images that are going to fit on those squares, and then a sentiment. And you know, that's not much for a card. So I hope you have gathered that. We're not doing it. It's not a mystery card. This is what we're doing. But I wanted to give you the opportunity to make this card with me. So if you're watching and you've gathered your supplies, let me know. And if you're watching this on YouTube, of course, it won't be live. So, but you'll have the opportunity to gather these supplies and make the card along with the video. And the more you do it, the more ideas that come to you of how you can use your stash. All right. So let's look at, this is the first card that I did. And I used Bird Ballad paper, designer series paper, and I actually fussy cut my birds from the Bird Ballad paper. I love that paper. How about you? Do you like that paper? Do you still have a stash of Bird Ballad paper? You know, I loved it so much that before it retired, I bought another package of it, and I haven't used it. So I'm going to use Bird Ballad. Now, I know some of you use your Bird Ballad paper, and that's awesome. So this is Bird Ballad paper, and I did, these were already colored in. I just picked the colors that I thought coordinated with what I had planned to use. I used crumb cake for my mat, and some of the Bird Ballad paper. This is my 1.5 inch, I think it was a 1.5 inch strip. It's a 1 inch strip. This is a 1 inch strip, 1 by 5 1/4. And I embossed this with the Fern embossing folder, another one of my favorites. Anyway, you just put your images on the card. And I used some of my petal pink ribbon to finish it out. Let's see, did I do anything inside some of them? Yeah, I did. I did. All right. So that was one that I did. Here's the second one that I did. And for this one, I used, let's see. Oh, I used this paper. It is Daffodil Afternoon. Daffodil Afternoon. I used that. So, again, I fussy cut the flowers out of the Designer Series paper. I used Lost Lagoon, and I used the, what is it called? Forever Plaid, which I think is still available. Forever Plaid. No. This, well, maybe it is. No. No. That one is the Distressed something. Distressed something. Anyway, this one is not still available. And, yeah. So that's really all it took. Some of the Designer Series paper inside. Very easy. These were easy to fussy cut. Easy to fussy cut. And, you know, that makes it so much easier when you don't have to stamp an image and color it in. And I love doing all of that, but I wanted these cards to be quick and easy. All right. So that's the second one I did. Then the third one I did is using a current Designer Series paper, which is Lovely Blossoms. And again, I fussy cut because I didn't want to stamp and do all of that. So I fussy cut my flowers and used the Designer Series paper and Secret Sea cardstock. But on this one, I did use the Forever Plaid embossing folder. And I love mixing Cloud Cover and Secret Sea. I love those two colors together. And, yeah, so I decided to use them on this card. I thought they'd go perfect. And I don't think I did the inside, and I should have. But I think I kind of got in a hurry at this point. So you can see the different ways how you can use your retired products and your newer products and come out with the same thing. Beautiful, beautiful. So what we're going to do is we're going to make this one together. And what I did was I cut my card base, which is 8.5 by 5.5 of my basic white. And then I cut my 4 by 5 1/4 piece of Secret Sea. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to emboss it with the Forever Plaid. So I'll put it in here. I'm not going to move my machine over here. This is the Forever Plaid, and I'm going to get it down here so that I can line it up. Let me see if I can get it where I can line it up with the line at the bottom. I love that line at the bottom because it makes it so much easier to line it up. I need to come down on this side just a little bit. There we go. Still need to come down on this side just a tad. Hold it in there. There we go. All right, and I'm going to run it through real quick with my blue plate because it's a 3D folder. Okay. So take it out. It's kind of stuck to the folder. There we go. Isn't that pretty? I love, love, love that embossing folder. I really do love it. All right. And then I've already pre-cut my strips. And this is your 1 inch by 5 1/4 inch. And they're going to go right on here. And it looks like I'll have to trim it just a little bit. So let me go ahead, and I've already fussy cut my flowers, but you see the difference? So what I'm going to do is use my Secret C Stampin' Blend, and I'm going to go around the edges of this. And you have to be careful because you don't want to go over to the top. I can go to the bottom, but it makes such a difference to do that. So if I want something to really, especially if I don't want the white edge around it, then I will often take my Stampin' Blend, one of the darker ones that coordinates, and go around the edge. I just think it makes such a difference. And it's not hard to do. You just have to be careful not to slip and go over the top. There's that one. You see, when I fussy cut, because the flowers nudged up against leaves or up against the petal pink, I want it to all look the same. So I have an order coming in with the new catalog, and I'm looking forward to seeing the ideas. I love the products, but as much as that, I love seeing new ideas. And I I case the catalog quite a bit. So, you know, that's why they put the samples in there, so we can case them and use them. So I'm looking for ways to use my stash, new card ideas to use my stash. So I want to get this around. I don't want to get in too much of a hurry or I'll mess up and slip over the top. And that's why I'm not using the brush. I'm using the pointed tip so I don't take a chance of slipping over the top. I really needed it right here because it's got a lot of petal pink right in here. But there's no way you can fussy cut that away. And I want to get it right there as well. All right, we've got them done. And then I've got my white squares. And of course, another reason I wanted to go around the edge is that's white on white. But I think they look good. So I'm going to go ahead and put these on my white squares. And I'm going to glue them. So I'm just going to put it around the edge. And then we're going to pop the squares up. They may overlap a little bit, and that's okay. You know, when you fussy cut, you don't have to be perfect, because flowers aren't perfect. Okay, got that one done. And got that one done. There we go. Get these down. All right. Now I'm going to take my designer series paper and I'm going to put it onto my background piece. And use my tape runner. And you want to be careful if your paper is directional, then you want to be sure to get it going the right direction. And I'm leaving just the smallest little edge there. You can see it on this. And I do have a little bit, but I'll wait until I get my other strip on in case I need to trim them both. Oh, no, I wanted to use this. Not the liquid glue. I am going to have to put some right here because I didn't go to the edge. Okay. All right. And I got it directionally correct. Leaving a little bit of an edge over there on the right. And get that down. Make sure that's down. Get my scissors. Trim this. And trim this. A little bit of glue right there. All right. And now we're going to position these. And I think, and you want to be sure and turn these. Now, I didn't turn them when I put my image on because I knew it wouldn't matter. But like with the bird ballad, I turned it before I put the bird on. In fact, I think I didn't quite get it turned enough with this bird. But you want to be sure and watch that if your image, I had to do it with this one too, especially this flower. So you want to be careful and watch that. I didn't pay enough attention to that. But I want to go ahead and position these. I think this one's a little bit smaller. So I'm going to move it this way a little bit. Oh, my fingers got glue on it. And, you know, you could do it any way you wanted. You could even do them straight up and down. But that's the way I want to do it. And I'm going to do that with glue dot, with dimensionals. So I'm going to start, I think I'm going to start with the middle one. Put my dimensionals on. Okay. Get these papers off. And I'm going to put it right here. So it's overlapping off the edge just a little bit, which it really doesn't matter. Looks like I'm going to need to do some cutting of my dimensionals. I need to get that glue off my finger. So I do this with my dimensionals. Do you do this? I use every inch. All right. So I have one more dimensional right there. And then I'm going to use the edge. All right. And get my backing off. And when you use the edges, the nice thing about it is you can cut them any size you want. And sometimes that's really necessary to have a smaller size. I'm going to line this one up, leave a little bit of an edge in there, and then get this one. Well, I must have cut this end. There we go. You just put it there and there. Well, there. I think I've got enough dimensional on there. My edges, my backing off, and put it right here, right there. There we go. All right, we're through with our dimensionals. For now, we're going to do our sentiment. In fact, let's go ahead. I was going to do a larger sentiment, and then I realized I need another Happy Mother's Day card. So I'm going to pull out my black memento, ink this up, and put my pad under it since it's a clear stamp. And sort of put it in the middle so I can decide what to do. And I want to send it out from here. So I'm going to trim this real quick without moving it. And trim it down. Okay. Now let's see what else. Oops, I better cover my ink, or you know what will happen. I will get my hand in it for sure. All right. Yeah. All right, I'm going to trim it off right there. Didn't get it straight. I'm not a straight trimmer. That's why I use my trimmer. I think that'll work. I'm going to trim this, though, a little bit more. Now I'm going to do the banner method. One in the middle, as deep as I want to go. And then from the corner to the middle, and you have a banner. And you can make that banner any size you want it to be. All right, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to, I don't think I trimmed, I'm going to use these larger pieces for the back of my banner. All right. top is coming off really easily. Okay. Put my banner on there. Maybe move it up just a little bit. Right there. Make sure I've got it straight. And I think I do. All right, now we're ready to mount it on our white. Okay. I'm going to use my tape runner for that. Oh, sometimes the tape runner does that. Do you have that problem? Sometimes it pulls, especially on embossed cardstock, because I guess it's not touching all of the paper. So hopefully, all right. It won't matter on this, thank goodness. I must have cut it a little bit short, but it's not going to matter. There we go. Now, I've got my ribbon. I hope my sticky fingers will work. I've got dimensionals everywhere. All right. I thought about tying this bow ahead of time. I thought maybe I should see. I've got tape runner when I tried to pull that cardstock off. Okay, here we go. Try to do this bow under pressure. I don't like pressure. How about you? Do you like pressure? Okay, there we go. Got it? Make it a little tighter. All right. Now make sure that it's even and tight. Now I want to pull the inside bow out so that both colors will show. There we go. Get them out. Then trim my edges. Okay. I see I've still got dimensionals stuck to my scissors. Oh. Okay. Get my ribbon off. And on this card, I put it right here. And I can do that again. And I've run out of glue dots. I'm waiting for that order to come in because I've run out of glue dots. But I'm using the ones out of Paper Pumpkin, which work just fine. Which one? Which side? I'm going to put 2 glue dots, though. Make sure I get this down. It's a thicker ribbon, and I doubled it because I used 2. I've still got construction paper stuck to me, cardstock rather, not construction paper. Wow, that was a throwback to my teaching days. Construction paper. Okay, I want to separate these again. Well, all right. Yeah, sometimes it's a challenge to, if you don't have fingernails, which I don't, unfortunately, mine do not grow. They break off. Okay, there we go. Okay, we've got that down. Now, I used pearls. So let me find the pearls. And they're still available. Hopefully pearls will always be available. How do you do anything without pearls? All right. And I think I'll put a medium-sized one. Well, I think it went without, it came off without the glue dot. There, there. There. Did I get the glue dot? Yeah. Put one right there. I think I'll use the medium size on all of them. Well, right there. And I'll use another one. Maybe the other end of this will work better. I'm having trouble getting them off. There. My other one right down here. Now, the one thing I did on this, which, well, let me get the inside in first. So I did prepare for the inside, and I've got two of the pieces. Well, I've got two coordinating pieces of cardstock, of designer series paper. So I'm going to glue this one down. You know, and if you wanted a sentiment inside, there are some really nice sentiments that would be appropriate for Mother's Day. You mean so much to me. Thank you for all you've done. I love you. I mean, there are any number of sentiments that you could put inside if you wanted to. And I'm going to do this one because it picks up the navy. Yeah, it's coming out. I think I got enough. Hope I did. There we go. Those pieces of designer series paper. And you have these strips for another card. Get our inside in. You know what? I'm not sure that I cut my basic white the right size. Five and a half? No. I wondered why. Let's see. I think we can resolve this. Well, I'm going to take 1/8 of an inch off of this side. Oops. You know, there's all kinds of ways to fix problems. And 1/8 of an inch off of this side should bring us down to 5 1/2. And I'm not worried about the inside, but I want the outside to look nice. And it does. It looks fine inside. All right. I thought, why is that so short? Okay. Here we go. We've got our card done. We fixed our mistakes. So those two, this one, and this one. Do you like that pattern? I love that layout. Let me see. Okay. I was looking to see if there were any comments. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you liked this pattern. I hope that I hope it's one you'll use. Go back and look at the supplies that you need and make one. Pick out some of the paper that you have that you need to use and make a card. I'm trying to make sure I get it down far enough. There you go. Can you see it? All right. Well, that's it for today. Stash to card. Another way to use up our stash and even our new products and make something beautiful. Thank you for watching. God bless you, and hope to see you. Hi, Kate. Good morning. Thanks for saying something. I appreciate you watching. All right, and if you watch the replay, thank you so much for doing that. And if you watch on YouTube, I appreciate you so much. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. All right. See you. Actually, I won't be on next Thursday, which would be well, it's the 2nd and the 4th. Let me see. Let me get my calendar. We have graduations next month, May. So the 2nd, no, I won't be on the 2nd Thursday, but I'll come on then the 21st and the 28th. I'll do both of those to make up for being out. So not the 2nd, but the 3rd and the 4th. All right. God bless.